Hi everyone, welcome back to the next video. So today I'm going to be discussing how I read 200 books in a year. So stay tuned till the end of the video because you're going to find a strategy that has worked for me and I hope that helps you out as well. So I started reading in the year 2016 and in the year 2019 I was on a reading spree. So I was finishing books like anything, and if today you ask me, I read 5 to 6 books at the same time simultaneously. I've tried different strategies, tips and tricks, and I'm going to share a perfect blend of strategy that will help you also to finish as many as books you want to finish in 1 year. This is going to be a 4-step strategy, so make sure that you are watching the video till the end. Step number 1 is skip to the next. So whenever I don't like a book, I just skip to my next read because I do not want to waste any time in liking something that I'm not enjoying at the moment. So many times it has happened that many of my friends like some book and it is so hyped, I also end up getting that book, but I end up not liking it, and there's no issue in not liking something which other people are loving and talking about, because each of our taste and preference, it's very different. Just how when it comes to food, our preferences are different. Similarly, when it comes to books also, our preferences are very different. So it's all right if you're not liking something, it's all right if you're leaving something in the middle. You can always go back and you can restart a book, so that's not a crime as far as I know. So you can always go back and reread a book if you want to continue it. Something that I follow is, if I am not liking a book in the first 50 page, then I just drop that book, because there's so less time in the world to spend on books that we actually don't like. Step number 2 is every time, everywhere. So you have to make sure that you are carrying a book everywhere with you. So when it comes to me, whenever I'm going for shopping, whenever I'm going for picnic, I always carry a book. So it can be anything. It can be a Kindle, it can be books on your phone, it can be an audiobook, it can be a physical book. No matter the version, but it is important that you are carrying a book everywhere, because whenever you're sitting ideal, then you can just open a book and you can just read a couple of lines and a couple of sentences, a couple of pages, and just imagine that how much of compounding is it going to do. Step number 3 is all are equal. So earlier what I used to do is, I used to think that only I have to read a paperback, otherwise I will not be able to get the touch and the feel of reading. Because whenever we are reading paperback books, it's like a magic, because you can touch them, you can feel the paper, you can smell them. So I used to feel that if I don't read paperback books, then I might not even be reading. But now when I talk to you today, I am able to read much more on my Kindle and my audiobooks than I even read on a paperback. It's important that you break that barrier. It's important that you give importance to all the 3 versions of the books that we have got. We have got audiobooks, we have got paperback books, we have got Kindle books. So utilize every platform, every version of the books, so that it becomes easier, because you cannot carry 100 paperbacks on a vacation, but you can carry a Kindle that has multiple books in it. Whenever you're going to a walk or whenever you're jogging, you can actually listen to an audiobook, but you can't read a paperback at that time. So it's important that you break that barrier. If you want to read more and more, and if you want to utilize every time that you've got, then it's important that you break that barrier and you welcome audiobooks and Kindle books, just like you have welcome paperback and hardcovers. So this is what I do. I also divide my books based on the platforms. I'm going to make another video on which books are suitable for paperbacks, audiobooks and Kindle. Comment down in the section if you would like me to create something like that. Alright, so continuing with our strategy, the 4th one is the game of multiple. So it might work for some people, it might not work for the others, but when I talk about game of multiple, it's like reading multiple books. So let me tell you, hang on. How it works for me is, let's say that I'm reading 4 books at the moment. You don't have to follow this. You can go at your own comfort. You don't have to read multiple books. It's all right if you're not reading multiple books and if you don't want to. But if you want to try something out, then you can follow this strategy as well. So what do I do is I divide my books. I pick a thick book, I pick a medium book, and then I pick a thin book. Okay, so I read them simultaneously. I might pick them on different platforms. So let's say if I'm reading two paperbacks, I'll juggle it between one Kindle, one ebook, and I'll pair it with one audiobook. So this is how I divide my books. The complexity of the book, that also needs to be varied, because you cannot read multiple complex books at the same time, and I don't even recommend that. So whenever I'm reading a heavy non-fiction book, I always pair it up with a simple and easygoing and calming and relaxing fiction book, so that you know the balance is always there, because our mind, it needs that balance. So always make sure that whenever you are juggling with multiple books, then have that balance, have that healthy balance, and that healthy balance will only come to you once you start practicing. So in the starting, even I was not aware that how do I want to, you know, strategize my multiple readings. But today when you ask me, I am able to do it very well. And let me know in the comments if you want me to create a video on how to read multiple books at the same time. I'll create something on that as well. So this is the thing when you're reading multiple books. So when you're reading multiple books, when you finish first book, you are getting that instant boost from within. Your energy level rises and you are able to pick another book, and this is how the cycle goes on. This is like a snowball effect which happens. But this strategy will only work for you if you are comfortable in reading multiple books. If you're not comfortable in reading multiple books, that's perfectly all right, because it's not meant for everyone. I'm able to do it very well and I love doing it. I try to stop myself at 2 books or 3 books, but I am just not able to do that. Yeah, so to sum it all up, the first strategy is to skip to the next book and don't be shy. Second one is to carry a book wherever you're going, and at every time there should be a book along with you. Third one is all are equal, treat all platforms as equal, try out all version of books. Fourth one is to read multiple books at the same time. This will give you an inner boost and inner confidence to start another book. So this is all for today's video, guys. I hope that you liked it and it was helpful for you. Do try these tips out and let me know if these work out for you. Thank you so much for watching. Like, share and subscribe the channel. Thank you. Bye.